Welcome to episode 17 of season 2. If you've just joined us, I am Robin from At a Tired Witch on Instagram, and I'm with the beautiful Maria from Maria the Arcane on Instagram.
Oh,
hello.
Why? Thank you.
Yeah, this is my super beautiful wife named Maria. You might recognize her from the internet.
Yeah, I'm pretty much a trophy wife, so yeah, thanks. I just live off of Robin's energy. I mean,
It's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
I don't have to lift a finger. It's so great.
It's true. It's true. If you've just joined us this week, every week we talk about the upcoming lunar phase and kind of how we can utilize that in our own magical practices. Although these lunar phases do deal with the astrological placement of said moon, this is a kind reminder that this is not an astrological forecast for you in regards to your zodiac sign. That's not what this is. So this is just don't do that. So
Don't.
So that being said, the nearest and dearest from the air date will be on October 6th. It is the new moon in Libra. When we are dealing with new moons in Libra, we can utilize this moon phase for energies that are dealing with our own relationships with our beauty, with our self-image, and how we sort of put ourselves out there. For me personally, I think this would be a really, really great moon to utilize for glamour magic, confidence magic, basically anything that deals with how we perceive ourselves with the outside world. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
how
that
we
makes total
within
sense.
ourselves perceive ourselves, not necessarily how the world perceives us, because this is dealing with beauty from within. In my personal experience, Libras in general are a very sexy sign, okay? And in
that's my rising, so thank you.
You're very welcome.
I get the impression that I am. Just kidding. Go ahead.
You're so dumb.
So it's like this. I come off that way, but I really am just an awkward duck. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry I gave the impression
I have
that I am super sexy.
apologies. So because this is a semi-sexy sign and a social sign, this would be a really good time to utilize magic that involves, boosting our own like sexy selves. This could be sex magic, not in the ceremonial way, but in like the means of making yourself feel sexier for intimate times. This would be a great time that you could utilize magic where you're going to be the it girl when you walk into a room. Girl, of course, I'm using as the late 90s movie reference, not as like an actual gender that you might be in listening to this. Think of like Jawbreaker, the movie Jawbreaker.
Love it.
Yeah, so when the popular girls are like walking down the hallway and it's like a slow motion scene and their hair is blowing and everybody's kind of looking at them, like that's the kind of energy that we can utilize with this lunar phase. You want to be the badass popular girl who's walking down the hall who, she might have actually just killed her best friend with a jawbreaker, okay, but she still looks fucking hot, and that's something to consider. Utilizing magic that comes in this form. Similarly, Libra is also all about balance and justice. We see it with the Justice Tarot card as an example. And so utilizing magic that is for justice. This might be, law spells, for spells of somebody getting what's coming to them. And similarly, just finding a better balance in things. Very heavy on duality. So these are the sort of things to hone in on this lunar phase. And go be the hot girl walking down the hallway. Live, laugh, love. Ha ha ha.
I also think like Libra is great for like making decisions because, you know, Libras are very like, you know, as
decisive.
you said, justice and also balance and deciding. Well, I say making decisions, but Libras are known to be like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna do nothing.
Every Libra I know is like very like boom, this is what I'm doing. They're very driven. At least the ones I know. I mean, maybe that's, you know, their moon signs or something, but
but yeah, maybe like thinking about big decisions that you need to make. I think that'd be very good for this new moon.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Woo! Go do something fun, guys. Go be the baddest baddie, okay? Live, laugh, love. I hate that I keep saying that. Oh my god.
Judge everyone and everything.
Judge everyone, yes. Everyone, if you could just be judgmental this lunar phase, that would be great. You heard it here first from Maria the Arcade. Somebody make that into a meme. Judge everyone. You can't see it, but I'm doing like the little hands.
And it's Mercury retrograde. So what could go wrong? Nothing will go wrong.
Everything will go perfect. That's what they often say that about Mercury retrograde. That did start, let's see, 4 days before recording this. So let's see if we even get this posted on time. The last 2 Mercury retrogrades we haven't, so oh god, I'm speaking it into existence.
Knock on all the wood. Knock on all the wood. Cleanse the space. So, if you just started listening to us, every podcast we go over a different tarot card, we go over the universal meanings, and then our own interpretation of the cards. Hearing other people's opinions helps beginners form their own, or even those who have been practicing for a while expand their views on different meanings. So this week we're doing something a little different that we haven't done in a while. We're going to talk about a reversed card. We're going to do the 10 of Cups reversed. So when upright, this card shows a family rejoicing. A rainbow holding 10 cups is overhead, and in the background, there's a river and a home. The key words to this card are, reversed, are unhappiness, disharmony, and even a broken family. Now, when this card comes up for me in readings, it is when reality hits our hopes and dreams. It is when we build something up in our heads to be this amazing thing. And as time passes, we realize it isn't what we thought it was going to be. The happiness we sought and might even had at one point is no longer there. It reminds me a lot of moving past the puppy love stage, or even the honeymoon stage of a relationship. And, you know, your partner or partners can do no wrong, and or like getting an amazing job that you've been like pining for. But then, you know, things start to get more real. Things can't be sunshine and roses like all the time. And this card is what happens when all of that falls through. Your partner turns out to be deceptive, or your job turns out to be not what you thought it would be at all. You kind of have to rethink what makes us happy and what we want when it comes to emotional fulfillment in life. Some people do get stuck with this card reversed because they do everything they can to keep that dream they previously had alive, and, you know, basically living seemingly in ignorant bliss, but, you know, not really, because they're fighting to get back that old feeling. But, you know, the longer we stay in these positions where happiness is not the real end game, the longer we veer off course of our personal journeys when it comes to happiness and emotional fulfillment. So how about you, Robin, dear? How do you see this card reversed?
Are you sitting down?
Do you agree with me?
I do.
Oh my god!
So I'm going to say I agree with you with an anecdote, or not an anecdote. What's that called? An asterisk. anecdote. Listen to me. I don't know words. So I agree with you with a little extra, which is that when I see this card come up, it typically tells me that you're having really serious issues at home, and that you need to deal with it now. Like, it needs to be dealt head on right now, or it's going to lead to divorce, friendship breaking up, severed ties. Because the Ten of Cups doesn't just mean like emotional relationships, right? Or not emotional. It does, because it's the cups suit. I meant romantic. Romantic. So it basically tells us that we have to deal with it like now. It's a make or break card in my experience.
Yep.
It needs to be dealt with right fucking now, or it's going to lead to your friendship dissolving, severed ties with family members, your relationship ending, etc. So yeah, otherwise I completely agree with you. Look at us. Look at us. Just two girls just coming to total agreement for once in our lives. Who thought it could happen?
Mercury retrograde is sinking us.
I once again say, live, laugh, and love, guys. It's truly possible. Oh my God.
Oh no.
Don't worry, everybody. I hate me too. But yeah, this card is actually to me, it's like a really big red flag card and a big warning card. It's like alarm bells are going off. It's like, okay, we actually need to stop talking about everything else in this reading. We need to focus on this. This everything else doesn't matter here. What matters here is the fact that you guys need to like deal with it or accept the fact this relationship is coming to an end. So,
yep.
Yay.
I completely agree.
Look at us just agreeing. Some say
all
some thought it wasn't possible, and yet
here we are.
So this week we want to talk about ghosts. And Maria and I have talked about ghost stories before in the past, but we figured this time we did open up the floor to our beautiful Discord members to send us their ghost stories. And Em and I are going to talk about kind of how we would deal with this situation. Even at minimum, just reading it and having a laugh will be fun. But the main thing is that Maria and I are going to be starting something extra here at Coffee and Cauldrons, and we want to focus October on just being all about spirits and like spookiness and having a good time. With Samhain coming, it's the the start and end of the pagan New Year, so we want it to be just fun. So we will be posting something on Instagram for you guys to send us your ghost stories if you want. They will be anonymous, and this is just going to be a fun little extra segment. I think will be good. We think will be good.
Yeah. I'm excited.
So, that being said, Maria, what is our first ghost story? Okay.
So, let's start. Back in 2014, I was considered a chaperone for my younger sister's high school trip to Europe. I was only 21. It's fine. We were traveling through Wales, and the Hand Hotel was our place for the night. We all knew it was haunted, and were excited to check it out. The rumor was that room 14 was the most haunted of them all. We arrived, and guess which room we were assigned? 14. People offered to switch with my sister and I, but we're like, nah, it'll be fine. This should be fun. So the room was small, 2 twin beds with a light on the wall above each bed, a wardrobe, and a glass window with a chair and curtains hanging so you can sit in the chair behind the curtains, and a small bathroom with a shower and a broken light. Outside the window was a small one-lane road, another building rather close. We were leaving early the next morning so I could set my clothes out on the chair, and I piled my jewelry on the small bedside table next to me. Everything was fine until it got dark. when we decided to keep the light on while we slept. The first time I woke up, the curtains were blowing like there was a breeze in the room, and my clothes that I had set out were on the floor, as if someone really wanted to sit on the chair. I got up to look out the window. I still don't know why to this day, and saw a woman with long black hair dressed all in red. I ran back to my bed and hid under the covers. I don't know if I passed out from fear or what, but the next thing I know, my sister is running around the room, collecting her things and telling me we need to leave right now. I told her we can't yet. It's only 3 a.m. and we would be leaving at 7. She looked at me, eyes shut, and she crawled back into bed without another word. She, to this day, does not remember this happening. It was then I noticed that the jewelry next to me that was laid out perfectly. Sorry, I think I'm reading this wrong.
That's okay. This is a long one. This is a long story.
Yeah, it was. I think that the jewelry was disturbed, but
yeah.
She didn't put that, but I didn't sleep. My sister woke up at 6 and she noticed I was looking dead tired. I asked if she remembered anything, and I told her all that had happened. She freaked out, and we ended up being the first in the lobby in the morning. I remember it was a Sunday and a few people were going to church before we got back on the buses. We were definitely in that group that morning.
Freaky. I think my favorite part of all of this, right? Of this like whole story is the fact that the sister doesn't remember any of it, because like I've been there, and not obviously I wasn't there like in Wales.
Yeah.
But
I was there. I was the woman in the alley.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that, because I actually am a big fan of wearing all red. So it was me, confession hour.
Lady in red.
But what I mean is I've been in a situation like that before, so
yeah,
I can understand it. What were you going to say?
So I was going to say that what I would have done personally in that situation, you know, being at a hotel is like, and creepy stuff is happening, your options are fairly limited. I mean, sometimes you just have to like, this is fine. Everything's fine. We'll be okay. We'll make it through the night. But I think it's great to, you know, bring cleansing stuff with you, like when you travel, even if it's just like a spray bottle with some salt, and you could like spray the room down with salt, because the last thing you want to do is like light up a cleansing wand in the hotel room and start, you know, and people are like, something is burning. But or even if you like carry like a black candle with you, just do a quick banishment symbol on it.
Yeah.
But again, that could be not very, you know, it's in the middle of the night. You want to do something quick so you can go back to sleep.
Yeah.
But that's what I would personally do. Just a salt and water.
So, like, I mean, for me personally, in that situation, and this is going to sound really bad, okay? But it's a hotel, right? I would have just gone back to sleep. My reason being, listen, and I know this isn't like, you know, a very helpful situation, right? I know what I'm suggesting is not very helpful, but my reason being is that doing a proper cleansing or banishing, in my opinion, takes enough time and energy that by the time it's done, you will have already not gotten any sleep anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like at that point.
That's true.
So you're going to be gone in the morning. Just, you know, force yourself to go back to sleep. That's what I do. I would, and I've done that before. There was a hotel that my husband and friend and I stayed in a couple years ago, that there was a man in the corner of the room the whole night who was scaring the shit out of me. I just turned the TV on. I literally just turned the TV on and I went back to sleep. Because like things like that noise, like the static and the noise and stuff like that tends to be distracting enough that you can ignore the situation. That's been my experience, at least. And like I said, not that I don't think that like cleansing and stuff is useful. It totally is. But in a hotel specific situation, I would do anything I could to just go back to sleep.
Yeah. And I do want to say that even if you cleanse, most likely, like, it'll probably help for just a little bit and then it'll start over again. And this is because, like, with spirits, especially if you're in, like, an old place, like, you're staying, like, at a bed and breakfast or
Wales
something.
is actually
that's, like,
a brand new country, so I don't really know where this remark is coming from.
I meant in general, you know what I mean? In general, because even newer hotels can be haunted. But, it's so ingrained, like the haunting itself so ingrained in the structure that you're just going to like temporarily put it on hold. Like it's still going to be there. It lives in the place. And with so much energy, with there's being so many people there, it's just going to keep feeding that spirit or energy that's there. So, but that's my personal opinion and experience. But yeah. Hopefully that made sense.
I think it makes sense. And well, guys, if it doesn't make sense to you, that's okay. We got another story.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. Sorry. This one is part of 4 stories offered, but this was my favorite in all the stories. Well, not even my favorite, but one that I think I have advice for. Okay. In college, I constantly felt a weird presence in my apartment, specifically male, specifically watching me in the bathroom and in the shower. One day, in the middle of the night, I heard a whisper, "Katie, I love you." I had a friend who was also super sensitive and one who was not, I was having lunch with. I told them, and K, the sensitive one, believed me, but S, the skeptical one, laughed at me. I brought them to my apartment so K could feel around too and see if I was being crazy. First of all, I don't like that word crazy, okay? Nobody's crazy, okay? You're all just going through different things, all right? S just made fun of us the whole time. S left the room and Kay whispered to me, "Pack a bag, grab the kitten. He's really angry. He thinks you're making a joke out of him." I stayed with her for a couple of days and went back eventually. A couple of days later, I woke up to a hand on my chest and somebody physically bouncing me up and down on my bed by pushing my chest up and down. I slept with the light on the rest of the night and I moved out shortly after. First of all, this is not very live, laugh, love. Okay. So let's start with that. Oh God. Sorry, everybody. Coffee and Cauldrons has turned into a Ray Dunn running joke. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway. So for me personally, if I was in this sort of situation, I would be doing, first and foremost, a very obvious cleanse and a banishing, but I would specifically get things like holy water. And I know that, or blessed water. And I know that, like, words like holy water might seem triggering for some people. Because we all have, not we all, but many people have a very negative relationship with the church. However, holy water serves an incredible purpose. It has been blessed, and whether you believe in it or not, the ghost in question has a very high likelihood of believing in holy water. It's part of most, like, historical American faith systems. And there is a lot of power in consecrated water, whether that is truly coming from the Christian God or just the act of, consecrating said water.
Yeah.
I would then, and this is going to sound like such a dollar store witch thing, but I don't give a shit. Get some holy water, get a spray bottle, and you are going to spray your whole effing house down, okay? Then you're going to go get a candle, a black candle. You're going to do a banishing sigil on it, and you're going to leave that burning in the center of your house, okay, until it's gone. That's what I personally would do. It very well is probably not going to get rid of the entity altogether, because it's usually a lot more complicated, but it is going to at least make it so that way you're in a position of safety, where in my experience, the ghost is not going to physically harm you again. Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes
it'll
sense.
take the activity from something that is super scary and physical and frightening and instead make it so that way, the male entity is just like closing cabinets, let's say.
Yeah.
And so the entity is not gone, but you can at least run out your lease and do so in a way that you're not worried for your life. Does that make sense?
Oh, no, that makes total sense. I would cleanse the entire house, as you said. Specifically opening up all the windows. Do not cleanse your house with the windows closed, please.
Yeah, otherwise you're just moving it around.
Get every inch of the house. Even like it sounded like the ghost was mostly like in like the bathroom area, so even getting there, like even the tiniest corners in the cabinets, in everything. And then I always also recommend taking an Epsom salt bath and scrubbing your entire body down, just so I don't know, some spirits like really connect to you. It sounded like in this position it really connected to her, so I would definitely do the whole scrubbing down the body thing with Epsom salt. And as you say, eventually just leave if the spirit keeps acting up.
I will say,
scrubbing down the body with Epsom salt, because I do that too.
Yeah, scrubbing down the body with Epsom salt. I will just say this one thing: you do it once, okay, and then that's that. Don't keep doing it thinking it's going to help, because what you are actually going to end up doing is giving your skin such an abrasion that you have a whole other issue going on. You scrub yourself down once. Don't keep doing it like every day and thinking that's going to help, because if it didn't work, let's say the first time, doing it on repeat is not going to help the situation more than the first time did, but it will cause like your skin to break.
Oh, I should have clarified. I meant like the Epsom salt bath, like it's dissolved and everything. And I personally, I use a charcoal soap.
The scrubs are good. Like, I mean, I'm not anti using that.
Yeah. I use a charcoal soap for matters like this, like if for different purposes, but like if even in spirit related, I use the charcoal soap because the whole point of charcoal is like it draws things out. So I scrub my body down with that. That's what I use specifically. But I know people also use like other like herbal blends of their own like soap and stuff like that to do the same. But just so you can also do the scrub method, but that's what I personally do.
Floor washes in this case would be really good as well. I know that there's a good one called Devil Be Gone floor wash. I actually have a recipe for it, and I can share it on Patreon. So I will do that next month. The floor wash. It does, however, have pee in it. Okay, so don't get weird.
Wait a minute. Did we talk?
We talk about
had,
this?
Like our whole conversation. Was it on the podcast or was it off?
I think it was off air. We were talking about it with Corey. I think we were talking about it with Corey. It will have pee in it. Don't get weird, okay? It's normal and fine. You're only supposed to put a little bit in. Okay? Everybody just needs to relax. You're yelling at me right now. Stop it.
If your house smells like ammonia, you've gone too far.
It's been too much. Oh, my word. Okay, so we have a couple other ones here. I don't think we're going to get to all of them today, guys, but we could do one more story. Do you want to pick another one, Maria?
Oh, yeah. Let me bring it up because I am not on there.
Wow, she's really dropping the ball, guys.
I know. I'm just so organized in every aspect of my life. Just kidding. Okay. So let me see if I can read this one correctly.
I believe in you.
Okay. So it starts off. This first part happened when I was born, so it's technically hearsay. But my house has an L-shaped hallway, the shorter leg coming from the front door to the living room, and the longer leg going back to the back of the house where all the bedrooms are. So when my father-in-law first bought the house, he started seeing a little old lady who would come down the short leg of the L, turn, walk down the long leg of the L, and disappear. After a few weeks of this, he described the old lady to a neighbor who told him that the spirit looked like the previous owner. After a few years, he stopped noticing her and didn't see any other spirit activity in the house. So when we moved in, got jobs in the area, and started fostering some puppies. One day I'm at work and my partner is sitting on the couch in the living room with the puppies. And as they tell it, a small toy tank, like the military vehicle, fell in front of them. It hadn't been on any of the shelves or anything, my partner said. They had never even seen it before. They picked it up and put it on the shelf and went about their day. Immediately after the day, we started feeling and seeing a presence in the house, and it started walking the same path down the L hall. But whenever I caught a glimpse of it, it didn't look like an old lady. It just a dark black shape. There would be times my partner and I would be hanging out in our room at the end of the long hallway with the door open, and my partner would suddenly ask me when I had turned on the light in the hallway off. But when I looked, the light was always on. I started feeling unsafe and weird if I was in the house alone. A few weeks later, our cat knocked the toy off the shelf. The puppies got a hold of it and brought it outside and chewed it up. The activity stopped for a bit, but while after that, again, while I was at work, my partner took the pups outside and found the toy and brought it back inside. That night, we were once again hanging out in our bedroom with the door open and the hallway light was on. My partner looked over at the doorway and just started sobbing just out of nowhere, begging me to turn the light on because there apparently was a huge black shadow hanging in our bedroom doorway. When I looked over there, the light was on and there was no shadow, but I could feel a presence. My partner just kept crying, so I got up, went out into the living room, grabbed the toy, yelled for whatever it was to leave us alone, and threw the toy away in our outside garbage can. When I went back inside, my partner was fine. If you were to ask them about it now, they wouldn't even remember it. I've described that night in detail, and they still don't remember a thing about it. Anyways, I think about it constantly because it seems so wild and horror movie-esque. Do I genuinely think that toy is cursed or something? No. But do I have another explanation for the activity? No. I wasn't practicing yet at this time, so I probably would have just handled it very differently. But whatever it is went away. There still is occasionally a spirit energy I don't like in the home, but I just tell it to leave and do a good cleanse, and I don't have any other problems.
I'm going to say something. I would have handled it exactly how they handled it. Even now as a practicing witch. I would have told them to leave me alone and to get out, right? I would have gotten rid of the object, right? Maybe I would have not thrown it in the trash can. I might have done it a little bit differently, but I would have gotten rid of the object. And yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like they handled it exactly how it should have been handled. And I know that that's maybe, not the spiritual answer everybody's looking for, but simultaneously, sometimes if it is coming from an object, you just need to get the object out of your house.
Yeah, that's why, I say, when you thrift anything, just cleanse it. And obviously this is completely different. Like a toy that has never been around suddenly appeared. I mean, that's completely different. What do you do in that situation? But I personally, with objects like that are cursed, I wouldn't throw it away. I would actually give it a burial, because obviously there's a spirit attached to it. I know this sounds very supernatural-esque.
No, that's what I would do too.
But I would salt it. I wouldn't burn it, but I would pour salt all over the object while it's in the hole. And, say some words of rest in peace, and I hope your spirit, settles down or whatever. Obviously I'll say something more eloquent. And then, bury it away from the house, away. I would even do it in the yard. I would go somewhere and bury it far away. And then do the thorough house cleansing and have everyone in the house take an Epsom salt bath, and also do a candle just in case. Yeah.
But otherwise, I would say like the main points there of the getting it out of the house, telling it to leave you alone, etc. I think is right on track. Like,
you have to be very verbal with ghosts. Like, you can't just be like, "Oh, it's fine." You have to like yell sometimes and be like, "Get out! If you wish me harm, you can leave."
You can leave. Actually.
I don't mind, like, the nice ghosts. Like, if you're just gonna, like, hover in my kitchen, fine, whatever. As long as your presence feels good, whatever.
If you're
like, do your thing.
In my kitchen, yeah, this ghost just floating over here in my kitchen. It's fucking crazy.
My grandmother's ghost does it every year around this time up until Yule time. So I just let her spirit be.
Grandma.
Like, she watches over me, and like she judges how I don't wash the dishes every night. It's fine. Like, I love her.
Grandma, but what the heck?
But
oh my gosh, that's so funny.
But that's what. Please, 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 please. Even if you buy from the second-hand shop, I even say cleanse the clothes that you get. You never know. Like, just be safe. Don't get a haunted doll.
Or do. You know, at some point you gotta look at your life and go, you know what, YOLO.
My witchling wants one so bad, like they want to start a collection. I'm like, you know who would have to deal with that? It would be me, and I'm not gonna do that. Just like with a puppy, you know, like I would end up taking care of it, and it would be me, and I'm not doing that. I'm busy enough.
Mom is actually way too busy for this shit. Actually, thank you so much. Oh my god, that's so funny. I can see them doing that too, being like, "Come on, Mom, please."
Oh my goodness. This was fun.
This was fun.
I'm excited for this month.
Yeah, Maria and I are going to focus this month. We're going to have a little extra something happening, and we're going to focus on reading ghost stories. So I will be posting a post about this a couple days after this episode comes out. So just keep your eyes peeled, gang.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes peeled.
I might even have a really good story for next time, a personal experience. So
I do too.
Yeah,
I have a really good one. So, all right, we'll see you then.
Yes. But we're not done yet. So stick around. It sounded like we're closing. Like we're gonna leave and be like, okay, we're done. We're not doing not stirring and stirring this time.
Yeah,
bye,
we're done.
guys.
The episode's done. Never again. Sorry, guys. Goodbye.
It's been fun.
This has been real, but we both decided to quit the podcast just now on the spot. And no, we don't mean in general. We just mean this episode. So goodbye. So, Maria, what's stirring your cauldron right now?
That was so sensual.
Thank you.
Good job.
I tried really hard.
A+.
Thank you.
The lessons are paying off.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So I'm actually pretty excited about our tarot challenge on Instagram. If you haven't seen it on our social media, we have a haunted house tarot challenge for the month of October. And each day we'll go in deeper and deeper into a metaphorical haunted house and run into some ghosties along the way. It may even have a story arc because I'm not extra.
Maria, listen, I did the fall into yourself or fall for yourself one. And I was like, oh, this is all like self-love themed. And Maria's like, we're going into a haunted house. I've written a story. There is a plot here. We're going to meet 5 ghosts. She's so much more extra than I will ever be, but that's why we love you.
If I get a chance to be creative, I'm gonna be fucking creative, okay? But if I had time, I would have actually wrote a whole story out and had them do stuff, but I was unwell at the time, so that did not happen. But maybe next year. But so each section of the house has to deal with different things, such as ancestors and guides, growth, the balance of our inner child and being an adult, and we will even like tap into your witchy practice. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll be releasing them I'll be releasing them in sections. So if you would rather do a spread over like pulling cards every day, that is completely fine. As I said, like each section has a general theme, so your spreads will make sense. And I'll even be participating myself. I'm definitely going to be using my Memento Mori Oracle deck and my Lydia Tarot deck for layering my spreads and pulls. And though I will say, I wish like someone would release another tarot deck that uses vintage like Halloween imagery. I used to love like Trick or Treat tarot deck, but then I found out its creator is super racist, and my heart forever mourns the loss of that deck, but is tainted for me now. So
I'm going to use the tarot deck that you gave me last year. Do you remember?
I wish I would have got me it too. The haunted house one. I love it. You didn't
get yourself one?
No.
Oh my god, you're really fucked up.
I
know. She done goofed, guys.
I wonder if I can order it and it would be here by Friday. It might.
Maybe.
It might. Yeah. I wonder if I could.
I 100% was like this. I thought you got both of us. I didn't realize that it was just me. Wow, I'm really special, guys. She's like in love with me or something. It's so embarrassing.
I like to gift things that I would gift myself.
It's like really embarrassing because she's like obsessed with me. It's really embarrassing. Oh my gosh.
But no, I'm like super excited about it. And I didn't mean to like advertise like our Instagram, but I am. I am excited about it.
She's doing it. She's advertising. Wow. Is this a plug? Wow.
I don't know.
HelloFresh.
Maybe.
Oh my god. No, I think it is
I like
really,
tarot
really
spreads,
fun.
guys, in general.
It's true.
Thank you.
It's going to be fun, and I've seen a little preview beyond what's out there, and I'm very excited about it. So
thank you.
I think she's done a good job.
Thank you. I try. So, Robin, what is not stirring your cauldron this week?
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, this week. God damn it.
No, you did good.
Guys.
No, but you did good. That was very sexy. I have an erection right now, actually. So thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, a term that I recently learned is wide on, which is British. And it refers to the female equivalent of a boner. So consider that.
I love it.
Consider that I have a white on right now for you. So, all right. Anyway, moving on from that sexy time, disgusting. What is not stirring my cauldron this week is the influx of religious comments. And you know how Maria and I have talked about it being like witch season, and a lot of witches come into like their being and their power, etc. during this time. They find themselves, well, with that influx of new witches comes a bunch of weirdos that spend their free time searching witchcraft hashtags and being like, you're going to hell, you're going to burn, you're gonna die. And it's like, okay, thank you, Barbara. This really feels like Jesus love thy neighbor. It feels very wholesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's what's not stirring my cauldron this week is the people that are like, the Satan was created because of the deceiver of God, and you're a follower of Satan. And it's like, no, I'm not. I don't even believe in Satan.
I like to comment, be like, Hecate bless you. Yeah. Especially ones that are like, Jesus bless you, please come to Jesus. I'm like, okay, Hecate bless you, please come to Hecate.
The Lord Jesus actually says that you, Maria, specifically, you need to repent or you're going to burn forever. Like, repent for what? For what? I haven't done murder.
I was like, I'm like genuinely a good person, generally. Maybe.
Well, my favorite part about all of it is that because I was I went to art school. I'm an art history minor, which then in correspondence to that, I took a lot of theology classes because a lot of art, like historical art pieces, are done about like religious things. Because quite frankly, you have things like supplies being very limited. You're only going to do what's going to make you money because of that, beyond like a charcoal drawing, right? And those were all commissioned art pieces for like churches and other religious things, right? And so like I actually have a pretty good understanding of the Bible. Like it's not perfect. My husband loves to correct me on things because he's a Catholic, but I have a pretty good understanding of the Bible. And like I just want to know what part of your Bible tells you to harass people on the internet. Like I'm just wondering, like that doesn't feel very of Christ. But anyway, no hate to people who believe in Jesus or anything like that. Like I said, obviously it should be obvious. But like I'm not a religion basher of any kind. But that being said, stop fucking commenting on my shit. Like get a real hobby. Like get a real hobby. Like do you think that somebody like so I know a lot of these religions, the backbone of the religion is spreading the word of Jesus to convert them to save their soul, right? And I've got no problem with that. Like if somebody comes to your door and like wants to spread the word of Jesus, like just tell them like, no, thank you. They're just doing like what their Bible tells them to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, do you think that somebody was like, you know, this person commented on my page and told me that I was going to burn for eternity. So now I've decided to give up everything and become whatever that religion is. Like, so yeah, that's just what I think about that. Do with that what you will. So
yes, our comment sections are not your puppet. Please.
Literally. And like nobody's gonna read your comment and be like, oh well, I was going to do this pagan prayer, but now that you mention it, I will actually repent for my sins and I will go to the church where, you know, they're hiding child molesters. That sounds great. So I just anyway, I don't want to bash anybody's religion, so I'm going to veer off this subject, but those comments drive me fucking crazy. Like, get a real hobby.
Me too. And it's, as you said, it's gotten pretty bad. Pretty bad. And it's just going to get worse.
And it's just going to get worse the last, too. Like I'd say month, and then it's going to continue on probably through Christmas. And then the new year will start, and they'll go back to whatever the fuck they're doing with their lives that isn't being rude and disrespectful on the internet. So just a warning to everybody. Just ignore them. Like, or
just ignore them, block them.
Or do what I do and make a joke out of it. Like, it's fun. Having a joke is fun. Joking is actually very good and normal, and you should do that.
We don't joke here. We're serious.
Yeah, this is meme-free zone.
This is NPR.
Welcome to Coffee and Cauldrons, where we are going to talk in a very serious monotone. Maria, I heard you laugh. Don't do that. This is Coffee and Cauldrons. Have some fucking respect. Have some goddamn respect.
No.
Absolutely not, actually. Thank you.
Yeah, this is actually Fox News now, so...
Don't ever speak such a thing in my presence. If you have just joined us this episode, every single episode, we talk about creators that we are really liking right now. This is not sponsored. If you send us a DM and you're like, please, will you put us on here? Maria and I will mock you to everyone we know privately. We're going to make so much fun of you. Don't do it. Just don't do it. I'm gonna make fun of you. My friend Ashley listens to this. I'm gonna send it to Ashley, and Ashley's gonna laugh so hard at you. Wouldn't that be so embarrassing for you if Ashley laughed at you?
So embarrassing.
That'd be so embarrassing. Oh my god. So don't do it. So that being said, Maria, what are you loving right now?
Well, I have to say, you said like we're not like doing advertising and stuff, but we both have like the same company that we're like.
Okay, this is a
this
sheer
is such
coincidence.
A huge coincidence.
This is a huge coincidence. Okay, this is not an ad for this company. We just happen to both get 2 different decks from this company this week, and we both went, yeah. So
love it.
It's a coincidence.
Okay, so mine is the Seed and Sickle Oracle deck, and also in conjunction with the Citadel Oracle deck also. And the reason why I combine both of them is because the Citadel deck only comes in like a certain package with the Seed and Sickle. So if you don't get that package, you don't get the other Oracle deck. But the Seed and Sickle, so basically Fez, who's the artist, did an amazing job on these cards. It's all like, it's a herbal oracle deck, and it comes with like 2 different guidebooks, and one's for like introspection and the other one's like outwards, like goals and stuff like that. So you kind of like, oh, well, this reading's going to be about my goals, so I'm going to read into this book. But the artwork is just so stunning. I mean, if you've seen any of Fez's like art, it's gorgeous. And she has like, she did the, oh my gosh, the Poison Curses herbal book. That's gorgeous. She did the cover for that and the artwork inside. And it's just, this deck is kind of like the extension of that, and it's like a bunch of different herbs, beautifully drawn, and the cardstock is lush. The sides are gilded like a rose gold, and it's just a stunning deck, and it's been so fun to use so far. And
it's so cute.
It is. I love it. And the Citadel deck is like, it's kind of like what do I want to say? Like a person deck. Like if you're like trying to like who represents me right now, like, and you would shuffle it, and you could pull the witch, you could pull the seer, you can pull the wise man or something like that. So it's basically things like that. If you're trying to like pull a card for like a guide, you would, well, this card represents my guide sort of thing. But those cards are also done by Fez, and they're absolutely beautiful. And they're like, I think, it's a hexagon shape, and they're gilded images. They're not gilded on the sides, but they're beautiful and they're gorgeous to use. And I think it's a lovely deck that you can layer with. So, yeah. How about you?
So mine is also from the same company. Again, this is a coincidence, but mine is the Mystical Medleys deck. And it is like a vintage-inspired reinterpretation of the Rider-Waite-Smith. The deck itself is like that rubber band like cartoons, so stuff you would have seen in the 20s, like Disney in the 20s, Felix the Cat, Casper the Ghost, like those sort of silent film cartoons, right? And I, if you know anything about me, am a huge fan of vintage cartoons. Like, not necessarily like the messages that they portray, but the actual imagery and the aesthetic that are in those vintage cartoon styles. So when I saw this deck, actually our Discord sent it to me. When I saw this deck, I snatched this shit up so unbelievably fast. It's so fucking fast because it is right up my alley. And I have not even mentioned a tarot deck on here in months, for the record. Okay. This is the first one I've done in forever, and it is.
Hey, are you calling me out?
I'm not. I'm saying more. That's how excited I am about this deck, because I haven't been so excited about a deck in a little while, actually. And normally I am. That's more my point. And I'm just so obsessed with it. I love it. And one of my issues I have with Liminal 11 decks is that it's not a real issue. They've got a gloss coating on them, that makes them really, really sturdy. The problem is they're so sturdy you can't shuffle them. There's a knack to it and you can learn it, but traditional shuffling cannot be done with those decks because of that. They did not do the gloss coating on this deck, and so it is still a really heavy, well-made cardstock that is going to last, but it's shuffleable. So like I am obsessed. So not only like is it just 100% my jam, but it is shuffleable where in a traditional sense that does not take a knack to learn to do, that it just absolutely chef's kiss for me. Love it.
Yeah, I don't think the seed and sickle is like really easy to shuffle. I don't think
That's
has the gloss coating that the other ones had, like the white Newman.
Modern Witch has it for sure, and so does the white Newman. I don't have any.
I remember the white
decks.
Newman being a little hard to shuffle. A little bit hard, not hard, but it just takes a knack. It's hard to do the overhand shuffle is a little difficult, but that's the only problem.
I like to rifle shuffle my decks because I am abusive towards them. But yeah, I do not have that issue with this deck, and I'm so excited about it. So 10 out of 10. Thank you all for being here. We hope to see you on Friday, October 15th for our 18th episode. Now, that being said, Maria and I are planning something a little special for this month. So just keep your eyes peeled for some extra goodies this month. You can do so by looking out on our Instagrams, our Twitter, or our website, which we do have a website now. You can find all these things at coffeeandcauldrons.com.
Or even better, joining us on our Discord tier, which is First Coven on Patreon, so we can answer your questions in our part 2 next time.
You'll even get to hear our lovely, sensual, beautiful, just a round of applause voices for an additional 30 minutes per episode for being in our Patreon, the tiers casting and up.
So again, this is Coffee and Cauldrons.
With Robin from Tired Witch on Instagram.
And I'm Maria from @MariaTheArcane on Instagram.
All right, are you ready?
Ready? Yeah, let's try this.
All right, one, two.